in the Taoist practices, there's this concept, and it's more than a concept. It's a concept, and it's a practice, and it's practical, of root. So if we take our sandals off and we put our feet on the ground, we'll have a direct contact or direct connection to the earth. And being connected to the earth literally in Qigong, or let's say even, well, in Qigong it's going to allow you to connect energetically. So you're going to get the energy you want because you're going to get it from the earth, because the earth has a lot of energy. So again, Qigong means energy cultivation, so the first thing is to plug into the earth. In martial arts, it's a little bit more obvious, because if you're not grounded in martial arts, you're going to get knocked on your butt. In yoga, it's also fairly obvious or easy to see, because if you're not grounded, you'll fall down also. You know, like can't balance if you're not grounded. So that's the obvious. But moving beyond the physical, if we're emotionally scared, we will contract. And if we contract enough, we'll actually contract all the way into a ball. And if we keep contracting, we're going to go all the way to the ground and fall down. So we're not going to be grounded. That's obvious, you know. Or that's to say, if we're shying away from something, it'll knock us off our balance. If we're repulsed by it or fearful of it. If we're clutching or grasping, like in Buddhist practices, grasping or clutching too hard, it might actually knock us over. Or if we're reaching too far, it'll knock us over. So that's more of a psychological. If I'm not present and I'm looking to the future, and I'm overextending and reaching into the future, oh, that's gonna be so great. When I get there, it's gonna knock me over. Or if I'm so far in the past, like, wow, wasn't that an amazing meal, or wasn't that event so good, it's gonna knock me over, you know? So that's sort of a psychological way that we need to stay present and grounded. With a natural stance, natural in the sense that, like standing, like Qigong stance, the feet are a little wider, the knees are a little bit softer than locked, because we're the only creature that locks our knees, and that's why men fall down when they're in the military or in a wedding or a funeral. Like, lock the knees, they fall over. There's no connection. There's no chi flow. There's no energy flow. So when we dance or when we swim or when we walk or when we practice Qigong, it's always this sort of natural, soft position that has a little bit of movement in it. Even if it's still, there's a gentle rhythm internally. So those are all ways to honor the earth and honor ourselves and stay grounded and not move to the future, move to the past, clutch to things, grasp at things, fall out of our poses, or disassociate from the present moment. So that's why it's really important to stay grounded, to stay present. It's important also because, again, the idea of the ascension is predicated on the root. If a tree has good roots and it's watered well, it's going to grow big and it's going to reach out and it's going to bear fruit. And then it's going to nourish people and animals. So the deeper the root, the more the ascension, the more fruit, the more fruitful in the world. And it's really that simple. If we don't connect to our truth, then we're going to be cut off from it. So we start with plugging into the earth. On a sort of bigger level, our health, I should say, depends on what we think and what we eat and what we do and what we absorb. So if we think, and not just think it and say it like an affirmation, but really believe it and embody that we are healthy, the reflection of that thought will be health. The return, the echo will be our health. If we eat good foods that are colors of the rainbow and not processed and close to the earth, we're going to be healthier. It's just obvious. If we do things every day that support our core intention, our life intention, so that if our life intention is to be radiant and healthy and share with our friends and family, then everything we think, eat, and do ought to support that. then we have to be able to absorb it. And if we have really expensive supplements and we can't absorb it, we'll have really expensive urine. So if we can absorb the teachings, then the teachings will ground in us. And if we're not rooted in our belief of who we are, our core intention, and our literal practice, we really won't be able to absorb the teachings. So I think that having a clear idea of what, who we are, why we're here on the planet, taking action to do that, is in a sense, or in essence, a root, which you could say is your métier or your stance, your root in life.